Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to the sacred circle to honor the full moon in Gemini. I invite you to take a couple deep breaths as we land here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kristen. And I'm delighted to have you here. I am an energy healer. I am a divine channel, and I am deeply connected with this earth and with the cycles, and really here to help us all reclaim our place, right? Reclaim our place in this vast circle, reclaim our power, right? Reclaim our power, our sovereignty, our ability, right? To have the free will to make choice, to manifest all that we desire, right? Yeah. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And as we're settling in here, I'm going to invite you to start taking a couple deep breaths here. Maybe you want to place hands on your body, just feel your edges, feel where you begin and where you end, feel your divine boundaries here, right? Taking a few deep breaths in and out. And as you begin to land, as you begin to come back into connection with yourself, your physical body, I invite you to, let your seat be heavier. Let yourself lean back. If you're in a chair, on a couch, let yourself be held more fully here and now. And so I'm going to guide us through a little breath work and grounding here to really open up the space and help us land. And then I'll move in to some insight and some reflection, and we'll do some energy work. All right. So I'm going to invite everyone, if it feels good, go ahead and close your eyes. If not, maybe you want to gaze at something appealing in your space, a plant out the window, colors that are nice, and just start to breathe in and tune in. Allowing, giving permission for your energy to begin to drop down out of your mental space. Imagining that elevator spiraling you down into your heart, down into your belly, down into your hips, breathing into your hips here. And as you feel ready, I invite you to imagine that some luscious, beautiful roots begin to elongate and grow out of the base of your spine, out of the bottom of your hip joints, out of the sides of your seat. Just breathing and allowing here, allowing your own roots to stretch into the earth. Imagine them pushing through concrete, rock, and crystal. Feel and allow them to extend deep, deep down into the planet, stretching towards the core of this earth, this home. Continue breathing here, just allowing your energy to drop down, feeling that connection with the earth. And imagine that the earth herself is beckoning you, inviting you to wrap your roots around her molten core. Do so now. Imagine those luscious roots of yours just wrapping themselves around the core of this planet. And as you do, I invite you to breathe out, imagining that anything that doesn't need to be with you here today, anything that doesn't serve your highest good, anything that's not rightfully yours, just feel it move out of you, out of your body, into the core of this planet, given as an offering. And as you breathe in, I invite you to imagine that the earth receives that offering and in return gives you grounded life force energy. So as you breathe in, imagine, feel, allow that earth energy to move up your roots and into your body. Breathing here, just allowing that earth energy to begin pulsing into our core. In and out here, receiving and releasing. Beautiful. Beautiful. And as you feel ready, I'll invite you to imagine that some luscious roots and tendrils, branches begin to reach out from the crown of your head up in to the cosmos. Ooh. And as they begin to stretch up into the cosmos, I invite you to imagine that they can root in to the sun. Ooh, root into the center of our solar system here. And as you root into the sun, I invite you to imagine that any beliefs, any energies that aren't serving you, any beliefs that aren't yours, any mindsets that are holding you back, I invite you to imagine that the sun just dissolves those, melts them, vaporizes them. And as you breathe here, just feel the lightness as the sun burns away all that mental energy that is keeping you in overwhelm, all that frenetic mental chaos that is keeping you in doubt and uncertainty. Just feel the sun just burn that up, evaporate that. And as you feel ready, I invite you to imagine that you can breathe in some of that vital, bright, life force energy of the sun. Breathing it in, bringing it into your heart, feeling it fill your shoulders, just allowing the light of the sun to infuse you and burn away anything that isn't in alignment with your integrity. Burning away anything that isn't in alignment with your highest self. And igniting and sparking all of those passions. All of that unique wisdom that's within you. Take a few more breaths here. Connecting in with the earth, connecting in with the sun, feeling your divine place between them both. And from this place where we are rooted, connected above and below, I'll invite in our divine team. I'll invite in our angels, guides, our animal allies, our ancestors, inviting in the ancient elementals, inviting in all those helping spirits that want to support our evolution, that want to support our unfolding, that want to support our ascension and our rise. You can imagine that all of these loving, divine beings are gathering around us now, whether we are here live or watching the recording. We are held now in this space, rooted into the earth, rooted into the sun, surrounded and connected and held by our divine loving team. Take a few more breaths here. Knowing that you can just stay in this space if you wish, keeping your eyes closed. You can lay down and just receive. If that feels what you need right now. Or as you feel ready, I invite you to just blink some light back into your eyes, coming to ground into this space, coming to ground into this moment. Maybe taking a sip of water, maybe gazing out the window, and just taking a moment here to really hold space, right, for the subtle shifts that might have occurred as I led you through that grounding and that sacred space opening. I can name for myself that I feel much more grounded. My heart doesn't feel as like flighty, and I feel much more connected and settled. And so I invite you to, if you're a journaler, go ahead and journal on that and just note to yourself what shifts has occurred. It's really important, especially in this fast-paced world that we live, to really acknowledge the power that these dropping in, these grounding, these connecting can do for us, right? Because that was about a little less than 10 minutes of kind of intentional breath work and grounding. And for me, it shifted a lot. And so I think sometimes our ego, our mental body, our human self thinks that getting grounded or resetting is this huge, complicated thing that's going to take forever. And I think it's really important to remember that it can be as easy as taking a few deep breaths, sending your roots down into the earth, inviting in your divine team, right? So just want to acknowledge that. Okay. So we're here to honor the full moon in Gemini. So I want to say a few things about that. And then I want to talk about, I did some card pulls to kind of feel into the energy and get some guidance from our guides. So in general, full moons are a time of release, right? Full moons are when the moon is completely in opposition to where the sun is. The sun's light can fully shine on and illuminate the moon, and that light can fully shine on and illuminate all within us and our lives that needs to be released so that we can create that intention that we set in the new moon, so that we can become what we desire, so that we can do what we long to do, right? And so the full moons are a really great opportunity to release, to let go. It is a part of that kind of death rebirth cycle, right? In order to be reborn, sometimes we need to let certain things die and let certain things fall away. And so this full moon, all full moons are opportunities to do that. And this full moon is in Gemini and the sun is in Sagittarius. And so these signs are in opposition to each other. They're both mutable signs. Sagittarius is a fire sign, often associated with the sign of the centaur, right? This kind of like seeking higher wisdom, seeking higher knowledge, right? Having laser focus, like, their bow and arrow, having laser focus at what you're going after, right? Gemini is represented by the twins. It is an air sign. It also is a mutable sign. And so it has to do a lot with our kind of like mental energy. Gemini is, it's known for being able to like see both sides, right? The twins, right? The duality, right? The opposition, the both and, right? And so there's an invitation during this season to really step in to the adaptability and the flexibility that seeing things from both sides can give us, right? Because it can be, we struggle as a collective human family in seeing the other side, right? Not all of us, not at every moment, but we have a tendency as humans, right, to believe that our perspective is right, the only right. And this can create a lot of division, right? A lot of division, right? A lot of fighting, a lot of kind of like putting each other down, proving, right? And we see this in our society, right? We see often, right, how one person's desire to like be right, be better, be the one, can cause a bunch of harm, right? And so there's an invitation, right, to really let go of that kind of really limited kind of black and white thinking and really start opening up to the both and, right? And I'll say this actually about the black and white thinking. What we need to release is not necessarily the black and white thinking, right? Because we live in a world that's full of dualities, right? Night and day, sun and moon, dark and light, summer and winter, right? We live in a world that has so many oppositions and dualities, right? And yet, right, we tend to say that one is good and one is evil, right? So like, for example, a really common one, right? Light, good. Dark, bad, right? But in reality, neither of those things are good or bad or right or wrong, right? They both just are. They both have lessons to teach us. They both have kind of shortcomings or obstacles that we can stumble on, right? They both have medicine, right? And so we are invited right now to really honor the neutrality, right? The neutrality. And to let go of this kind of like clinging, right, to like rigid morals of what is right and what is wrong and what can be and what can't be and what should be and what shouldn't be and who I should be and who I shouldn't be, right? These are limiting us. These are stopping us from creating the more that we desire, right? It's creating like rigidity that doesn't allow for magic, that doesn't allow for expansion, that doesn't allow for the true fullness that our world offers, right? I want to see if anything else wants to be said about that. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I want to say is about Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius, fire sign, mutable sign, represented by the centaur or the arrow, right? And so both of these signs have this like curiosity and this desire to know, right? This desire for knowledge, right? And so I think there is a huge invitation right now for us to really like claim the beginner's mind. And this is a great transition into the cards that came out, because from this, let me see here, this the Spirit's Animal Oracle, one of the first cards, a bunch of cards fell out, so I'll share all of them. But one of the first cards that came out was this porcupine spirit, right? Time for the beginner's mind, right? And so, as I was saying, right, both of these signs, the sun's in Sagittarius, the moon is in Gemini. There is an invitation here for us to foster our curiosity and let go of this idea that we know everything, right? We need to create space for the impossible. We need to create space for what can be when we stop limiting our reality with kind of like outdated rules, right? So it's time for beginner's mind, right? Some of the other cards that came out that I think are really important is, okay, skunk spirit, know your worth. An otter spirit, what's this say? You're never alone, right? So as we are stepping into beginner's mind, right, there's a really, really important aspect here about knowing our worth, right? I know myself, I struggle with this, and I'm certain that some of y'all listening struggle with this too. This idea that if I'm wrong, I'm somehow bad, right? If I make a mistake or don't know something, then I'm somehow not worthy, right? Or not good enough, or there's something wrong with me, right? And so that's one of the ways that it can limit us from getting into beginner's mind, right? Because there's a level of vulnerability that comes with being a student. There's a level of vulnerability that comes with admitting that we don't know. And when we admit that we don't know, right, we have to start finding our worth in just our inherent beingness rather than our knowingness, right? There's this tendency in Western society in particular that really, really worships the mind and really, really exalts academia. There's this tendency for us to think, oh, those people who know, they're somehow more worthy, they're better, they're the experts, they're above me, right? And that's false. That's just not real. That's just something we've created. We are all equally worthy. We are all equally enough, right? There isn't this like, oh, they know more than me, so they're better. That's a construct that we've created that we are being invited to let fall away. And so as we step into the both and, step into the power of the duality, right, we can start to feel maybe like some tinges of like unworthiness come up, or feeling like we're not good enough because we're making mistakes or we're stumbling. And I want to just say, like, skunk spirit is here to remind us that, like, no, like, you're worthy, right? You're worthy just as you are. There's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing that you need to be. There's nothing that you need to change. Like, you're enough and you're worthy. The other piece of this, right? Otter spirit, that you are never alone. I think this is a huge message for all of us right now, right? To remember that, like, we have a divine team, a non-physical team. Our ancestors are here for us. There are animal allies that are here for us. There are, divine beings that are here for us. Like, we are not alone, and we are invited to reach out, ask for help, to lean into that support, to feel into the way that we are, like, a part of this family. We have not been abandoned. We have not been disowned. We are deeply loved and a part of this cosmic family. Okay. And then the last one, which feels appropriate, from the animal allies was this wasp spirit, right? Sometimes life stings. So I think this is a really, really important message, because as we are, moving towards something better, right? Working on release stuff, like claiming this beginner's mind, knowing we're never alone, claiming our worth, right? As all that's happening, stuff's going to come up. stuff's going to come up for us to work on. Stuff's going to come up that is triggering, inviting us to have a different response, inviting us to respond differently, right? And so it will feel sometimes that life like stings, like it hurts, right? And I really feel like this card is here to be like, that's a part of it. Keep going, right? Like, don't let that sting be evidence for why you have to stop, right? Don't let the hardship be evidence for why you can't, right? The hardship is part of the journey, right? I'm thinking of the whole like, okay, when a butterfly comes out of its cocoon, part of what it needs is to struggle. It needs to struggle. That's what strengthens its wings so it can fly, right? If someone were to come up, and this has happened, where someone comes up and takes the butterfly, helps it get out of the cocoon, the butterfly dies because it didn't have the struggle that it needed to get the strength so that it could fly. And so we are here now to remind you that like sometimes there will be a struggle. Sometimes this will be hard. The more that you can just like honor, accept, notice that without judgment, without putting yourself down, without becoming the victim and blaming the world, the more that you can honor that sometimes this shit is going to hurt, the further you'll be able to move, right? Yeah. Whew, okay. So that was the animal spirit. The other one, so a lot of cards came out, and I'm going to move through all of them because these messages want to come through for you. So the next cards are from Work Your Light Oracle deck. Okay, Work Your Light Oracle deck. All right, and so the cards that came out: Council of the Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. So that feels like reiterating this otter spirit. You are not alone, right? Call on your folks, right? Tune in to your ancestors, right? Trust in, lean on, call on this Council of the Light, right? There feels like this important, for those of us on this path, there's this important reminder that we're not alone, that we're not doing this alone, right? That we're a part of something bigger, right? That there's a huge team of people, both physical on the planet and non-physical in the stellar cosmic verse that are here to support us. So trust in that, call on those helpers. Don't struggle alone in the wilderness. Like, you're deeply supported. So some of the other cards that came out is deep replenishment, trust in the niggle. What is that niggling feeling trying to tell you? And what's this one? Transformation. Things are changing on a deep and cellular level, right? So particularly with these two, transformation and deep replenishment, like stuff is changing, stuff's happening, right? Divine, what does it say? Orchestration, right? Like shit's going down. Things are changing. We're being transformed. The world is transforming on a cellular level. Like, we are allowed to give ourselves deep replenishment. Actually, we are encouraged to give ourselves deep replenishment. Too often, especially again in Western society, we feel ashamed when we're tired. We feel ashamed that we need rest. We feel like something's wrong with us, right? And I'm here to say, like, that's just fucking bullshit, right? Like, that's not true. Like, it's okay if you're tired. It's winter. Bears are hibernating, right? Like, it's okay if like you're burnt out. Like, that's like completely normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You have no reason to feel ashamed and no reason to feel embarrassed. Like, you deserve deep replenishment, and actually you need it, right? Like, we all know that like if we don't charge our cell phone, that shit's going to die and we can't use it. We know that. But yet we don't do that for ourselves, right? We don't give ourselves the recharge. We don't plug ourselves in and let us recharge. We just think we can keep going and then are mad at ourselves when our battery dies. So treat yourself like your cell phone, plug yourself in, charge yourself overnight, like carry a little battery pack with you, whatever that means for you, so that you can like charge up when you need to. Like, you deserve to, this says retreat, rest, be held, right? Like, you deserve that on a deep, deep level. And then this last one, trust the niggle. What is that niggling feeling trying to tell you? This really to me feels like, it's about like that body wisdom. It's about trusting yourself, right? It's about like really letting the feelings guide you. And it also feels like one of those like an invitation to stop overthinking, right? Both Gemini and Sagittarius, right? Like we can get fire, air, can get real spirally, can be out of control, start burning everything. And so sometimes we need to drop in and tune back in so that we can have that laser focus, right? And so there's an invitation to really like trust yourself, like take some time, like say, take some time in this replenishment and tune in. What is it that you need? What is it that you're wanting, right? Like, something inside you, there's just a part of us that is in denial, right? Yeah. Okay. And so I want to just finish up with some tarot that was pulled. So I'm going to start with these two that came out. Two of Wands and Eight of Pentacles, right? So there's this energy like we've been waiting for something. We've been dreaming. We've been kind of like in this still moment, in this like this moment of waiting, right? Where we're like looking to the future, we're having our longings, we're having our dreams, right? But we're still kind of in that waiting moment. That feels like where we've been, right? Where we are right now is this Eight of Pentacles, right? This like fine tuning, this focusing, intentional action is what's coming up. And that's where I think this trust the niggle is coming in, right? Is like, as we rest and replenish, as we recreate our relationship with work, right? We're going to be doing these things differently. And so how can we like trust our inner guidance? So when our inner guidance is like, I think I should go live on YouTube, and then we just do it, right? Or I think I should, whatever, write a book, share some of my journal posts, and then we do it, right? There's this invitation to just really like not overthink, but take action, right? Forward movement. That it feels like that's the like kind of Sagittarius energy coming in, right? Like we need to move. Same thing with like air, right? Like air is most healthy when it's like moving, right? Stagnant, stale air can just be like not ideal. So there's this invitation of like doing the work, right? And so for all of us, it's going to look different. But there is like a invitation to really start like taking stock and taking some action, because what's to come is this like Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands energy, right? Like our pure creative potential is being sparked by these actions that we take. And so there's this invitation to really like tune into delight, tune into joy, tune into fun, tune into like that cosmic creation energy, right? Like, look at how delighted these people are, right? Like, look at how delighted they are. And so there's this deep invitation, to like make magic, you know what I mean? And to trust in your magic and to trust in the creative power that flows through you. And then the final one that popped out that I'll just share is this Two of Pentacles, which feels really poignant. It's all about like balancing, right? It's all about finding that rhythmic kind of movement and dance between like action and inaction, between the duality, right? So much, again, like this feels like it's looping back to where I started. So much of the invitation right now is to like dance with the oppositions, right? Like there's an invitation to stop seeing one as better than the other. And even here, right, where like some people in like spiritual communities, right, they think that like spirit is like the more evolved, and that like flesh or the physicality is like a devolved, dirty, bad thing, right? Again, that's humans putting our human judgments on things, right? Like, what if like there wasn't a hierarchy? What if like spirit and physicality were on the same plane, that they were equal, right? And so that's for all things, right? Like, where can we create like, less of that like hierarchy energy, right? Like less of that hierarchy energy, less of the judgment, less of our own kind of like human putting like, this is right and this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, right? Gemini really, really like wants to see all sides of the situation. There, it's adaptability, it's flexibility. So really right now, like that's kind of the invitation, right? Like, can we be more adaptable and flexible, right? Like, can we have more fun, right? Like, it doesn't have to be so serious. You know what I mean? And really just trusting in the transformation, right? Like trusting that big change is happening and that like you're freaking worthy and we get to like start new. We get to see things with a fresh perspective. And that is exciting. Okay. Well, I just said a lot. Yeah. So I want to give everyone like a moment to just kind of sink in. If you're here live and you want to drop in the chat, what was coming up for you? If not, that's fine too. I want to transition us into like a quick kind of like journaling and reflection. And actually, if you wish to journal, you can totally journal. I'm going to actually lead us through kind of like a tuning in. I want us to tune in. And again, if you want to tune in by journaling and doing some writing, please do that. So I'll invite you to just start taking a couple breaths here. Maybe you want to put your hands on your body. I've said a lot, right? A lot of things have been said, things that maybe landed really softly and nicely, and things that maybe stirred some stuff up, triggered some things. All of that is allowed. All of that is okay. I invite you to just start taking some deep breaths. Dropping back into your body, maybe tuning into those roots we planted right at the beginning, those roots going into the earth, those roots going into the sun, feeling yourself once again in this divine place between the above and the below. And as you tune in here, I'll invite our highest self to drop in. I'm going to pose a question and I invite you to just trust whatever comes up first. So what is ready to let go of in your life that you've been holding on to? What in your life is ready to be let go of that you've been holding on to? What have you been holding on to in your life that is ready to be let go? Just tuning in here, noticing what arises, not judging it, not trying to change it, just noticing it. And if you're choosing to journal, feel free to jot down what comes up without judging it, without trying to change it, just allowing it, trusting in what arises. And as we breathe into this thing that is ready to be let go of, that we've been holding on to, I want you to tune into what will have to change to let this go. Ooh, what will change as a result of letting this go? Breathing into that, noticing what comes up without judgment, without trying to change it. Ooh, what will have to change in your life to let this go? To let this go, what else needs to change? Letting that knowing arise, jotting that down in the journal if that feels good. And as we tune in, to what will have to change as a result of letting this go, I want you to attune to what positive change may occur in your life as a result of letting this go. What positive change may result when you let this go? What becomes possible for you when you let this go? Breathing, allowing what arises to arise, noticing if you feel judgment, noticing if you want to change what's coming forward. Ooh, showing yourself some compassion and dropping back in, writing down what comes up, facing it. Ooh. Mm-hmm. What is ready to let go that you've been holding on to? Mm. Mm. What opens up for you when you let this go? Ooh. I'll invite you to take a few more breaths here, reflecting, noticing. Mm. And if you've been journaling, I invite you to start wrapping up that journaling. Go ahead and set that journal and that pen aside. Begin to deepen your breath once again. We're going to move in directly into some energy healing here. Some energy healing and some energy activation. Mind you, this is not a meditation. So if you are doing something else while you have been listening to this, I invite you to just pause this and listen to this part when you can be fully present. This is an energy healing and activation. Wonderful. So taking a couple nice deep breaths in and out here. Feeling your body heavy, heavy in the seat, heavy on the floor. Noticing where your body is making contact with the external world and allowing those parts of your body to be heavier. Lean in a little more. Be held a little more. And as you breathe here, I'll invite that energy of unconditional love, that Reiki energy, to begin spiraling all around you. This loving energy is clearing your auric field, clearing the space around you. This Reiki energy is cutting any cords that are connecting you to that which no longer serves, that which is not yours, that which was never yours. Breathing here, feeling and allowing that Reiki to just dissolve all those ties. To disintegrate all of that enmeshment in those lower vibrational frequencies that are holding you back. Allowing the Reiki to disintegrate the hooks, disintegrate. All that is not yours, all that does not belong to you, all that does not serve you. Feeling a complete cleanse in your auric field and the energy around you. Taking a couple deep breaths here. And as you feel ready, I invite you to invite that unconditionally loving Reiki energy to enter into your heart space, imagining, feeling, seeing crystalline light. Maybe it's crystal clear. Maybe it has a iridescent hue or is blue or violet. Feeling this crystalline, loving light begin to spiral into your heart space. Breathing here, maybe you want to place a hand on your heart, both hands at your heart. As the Reiki begins to spiral in to your heart space, spiraling into the front, spiraling in through the back. And as the Reiki spirals here in your heart space, it begins to clear. Anything that has blocked you from accessing your loving heart, anything that had shut your heart down or created walls around your heart, all that's being cleared completely now. The Reiki is moving back through your timeline, back through your ancestry, back through your soul lineage, just clearing and releasing, any constraints on your heart space, any constraints on your loving, radiant heart. And as the Reiki continues to clear your heart space, I invite you to imagine that beautiful, warm, loving light begins to penetrate and flow in through all of the pores of your skin. This unconditionally loving energy travels in to your body through your skin. And as it does so, it clears and activates your own love, your own potential. The Reiki is moving into your body now. This loving energy is moving into your body now. And as it does so, it is clearing and regenerating. As it does so, it is awakening and enlivening. It's helping to dissolve all of the black and white, all of the right and wrong, all of the hierarchy is being dissolved. The energy of equity and unity is beginning to awaken once again within your body. And as the energy of unity, as the energy of abundance, as the energy of prosperity begins to awaken within your body, feel and allow all that you named as ready to be released, releasing now. All that came up to be released is easily flowing out of you now. And as it flows out, space is created for higher levels of wealth, higher levels of prosperity, higher levels of awareness, knowledge, consciousness, higher levels of love. As those limitations are cleared and released, the limitlessness of your being comes back online. The limitlessness of your being comes back online. You are no longer limited by the past. You are no longer limited by the past. You are no longer limited. All limitations are dissolving. And as those limitations dissolve, joy begins to ignite. Passion begins to awaken. Exuberance begins to grow. Your vital life force energy begins to pulse. You are being upgraded. You are being transformed. Your highest self has more space to be. Your highest self has more space to be. Breathe here. Breathing and imagining that you can invite your highest self to meld with your physical body. Breathing in, inviting your highest self into your body so that you are an embodiment of your highest self now. You are an embodiment of your highest self now. You embody your highest self. And as you allow yourself this embodiment of your highest self, all that does not serve is released, dissolved, disintegrated. All that prevents this highest version of you from being big and bold and bright is released now, is released completely now. It is gone. It is gone. It exists no longer. Ooh. And at this point, as you embody your highest self, as all that no longer serves you is disintegrated, is released, is dissolved, I invite you to imagine that your divine team, your loving ancestors, are standing around you now. And they all have their hands up and are sending you strength and courage and love, so that you are surrounded now by the love and encouragement of your ancestors and your divine team. Breathing in, feeling that love, feeling that encouragement, feeling that support all around you. And if you're willing, you can invite your divine team and your loving ancestors to lay hands on you now. Feeling these loving hands all over your body. Feeling love, acceptance, devotion flowing in to your body through the hands of your ancestors, through the hands of your divine team. They're sending you reassurances now. They're sending you gratitude. They're in deep respect and reverence to you and the work that you're doing. So I invite you to take a few moments here to just breathe and allow. Feeling that embodiment of your highest self. Feeling the devotion, the admiration, the love, and the respect of your ancestors and your divine team just pouring in to your body now. And as we breathe here, receiving, recalibrating, you can ask your divine team or your ancestors or both, what else do I need to know right now? See what drops in. What wisdom do you wish to share with me? See what drops in. Trust what drops in. What's one thing I can do today to step closer to my soul's calling, to step closer to my highest self? Trust what drops in. Sending gratitude to all those that showed up, As we imagine, feel, and allow them to step back into that greater circle that holds this sacred space. And I invite you to take a few more deep breaths here, knowing that with each breath, your body is recalibrating, that you are integrating the medicine and releasing what no longer serves. Ooh. Oh. Now invite that loving channel of the holy fire Reiki to start dimming till it's off. So that we once again are seated in our fullness, in our sovereignty. Breathing in here, breathing into the edges of our body, to the tips of our fingers and the tips of our toes, feeling our fullness, feeling ourselves full of vibrant, loving energy, feeling ourselves aligned with that embodiment of our highest self. And from this place, I'll invite you to start blinking some light back into your eyes, coming to land once again in this physical space, dropping into your journal if that feels good, to just note what came through, note what came down. Taking some sips of water, hydrating yourself. Thanking everyone for being a part of this. Remembering that you are one thread of this divine tapestry. And that your vibrancy and your uniqueness is needed here now, and that you came here with purpose and you came here with power, and that there is a divine team here at your beck and call, ready to support you, ready to guide you and hold you. So as we begin to close the circle, just a reminder about energy healing, just a reminder about energy activation. This energy, this healing, this activation will begin or will continue to integrate into your body over the next at least sleep cycle, maybe longer than that. Hydrate yourself. Trust what's coming up for you, right? Trust that you are receiving the curriculum, the lessons that are perfect for you right now, right? There is a council of light, right? That has divine orchestration, right? So claim empowerment for yourself by stepping out of victimhood when hardship comes and claiming the lessons, the divine orchestration, the medicine that will come from that struggle, right? Just like the butterfly, sometimes we need to struggle out of the cocoon so that we are strong enough to fly. So trust what comes up for you. Trust what comes up for you, because these struggles, the turmoil, the challenges, right? Like this is the medicine needed for your specific mission, right? So have faith, trust in what comes through, and call on your team. And also, I'll go ahead and drop in here too. If you're feeling like you want more energy work, that you want more one-on-one support, one-on-one connection, please feel free to schedule a free meeting with me. Let's find out how we can work together. Let's find out how you can be supported as you step into your full power. And as a reminder, for anyone who's not here live or did not register, that this is a donation-based event. And so I'll drop in some ways to donate here in the chat. If you're watching the recording, it's over in the comment or description. I love holding these spaces. more that I'm able to receive as an exchange of holding these spaces, the more I am able to show up. So if you're able to donate, I deeply appreciate that. All right. And so on that note, I'm going to bring us towards a closing, because anything that's opened should be closed. So I invite you to once again drop into your body, start taking some deep breaths here. We'll just start tuning into those roots that we set. Sending gratitude up to the cosmos, up to the sun for the medicine and nourishment offered to us today. Sending gratitude and appreciation down into the earth for the medicine offered to us today. And as you feel ready, I'll invite you to imagine that you can disentangle your roots from the sun, disentangle your roots from the core of the earth. And just imagine that these roots are beginning to just retract back in to your body. Those roots are being pulled back up into your body from below. Those roots are being pulled back down into your body from below. Knowing that you can always reroot, knowing that the support is always here for you. And as those roots retract fully into your body, I invite you to breathe into your body, feeling your edges, feeling your sovereignty, feeling your uniqueness. Ooh. And then I'll send gratitude out to all of the divine beings, all of the ancestors, all of the animal allies, all of the helping spirits that showed up to help hold this sacred space. Thanking all those who I may have forgotten to thank, and releasing your energy back to you, closing this space formally. Oh, the space is closed. The space is closed. I appreciate all of you for joining me today in this ceremony, this circle to honor the full moon in Gemini. If you are watching the recording, please feel free to drop into the comments how this landed for you, what came up. Go ahead and give me a like, subscribe. I love being able to share this wisdom and share this medicine with the world, and I hope to continue doing so. So if you know of others who would benefit from this medicine, please share this circle, share this medicine with them, because in each other we find ourselves and we are stronger together. Enjoy the rest of your full moon. Go well, my friends. Bye.